Hi everyone, so as you can see I'm in a different background today, and the reason for that is I felt like in the previous background it was just getting too dark to film, and I don't know if this is much better. I think it kind of washes me out a little bit because I am sat right in front of a big large window, but you'll have to let me know what you think, and if it's kind of a nice welcome change or if you prefer the old background. It's very very dark in that room, and even with my lights set up it was just looking a weird colour. So yeah, let me know what you think about the new setup. And the other thing is I'm just going to quickly run through what I'm wearing, because I know that loads of people will always ask me afterwards, and if it's been a few days since I filmed it and then uploaded it, I won't remember. So my nails are Essie's Jam and Jelly, which I love. It's a really really pretty vibrant bright pink. My earrings are from Romwe, my jumper is from Romwe as well, and I love it. It's just a really really pretty kind of peachy earth toned colour with cut out shoulders, and I love it. And my ring is from Swarovski Crystal. The other thing is Romwe are having a sale which starts on the 30th of January till the 2nd of February, and they're going to have 40% off all their kind of best selling things. So I'm going to put all the info in the down bar for you to go and have a look at, but they will have a great kind of sale going on, and I'll put the info there so you can go and have a look at that if you wanted to purchase anything. I think they still have these jumpers in stocks actually, if any of you are interested. But now moving on to the purpose of this video, and these are just my top tips for healthy eating. Now just a little disclaimer first. I know that a lot of people will say that you don't eat healthily, you eat processed things, you don't eat enough protein, you don't eat enough vegetables, blah 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 blah. I personally think that we're all responsible for our own diets, and if you feel like you're eating well, then that is all that matters. And I feel like I'm eating well, my body feels good, and that is all that matters for me. So I'm going to kind of talk you through my top tips. I've got them all written down here so I won't forget anything. But my first tip is about all the information out there. There's so much information going around these days about what's healthy and what isn't, what you should be eating, what you shouldn't be eating. Don't eat red meat, don't eat eggs, don't eat wheat, don't eat milk, don't eat anything basically. And I am a firm believer in, if you're eating a fairly healthy diet, so if you're eating lean protein, low fat dairy, pulses and whole grains, good fats, which is an important thing to mention. Good fats are great because they kind of help the cholesterol in your body, and they just really great for your skin and that kind of thing. I don't eat fish, which are a great source of the essential fats. So I take omega-3 fish oil, which is a supplement. You don't have to take this if you do eat oily fish. You should probably eat them 2 to 3 times a week. Not enough people eat enough oily fish, and it is really really important. So you want to bear that in mind. But another thing that is really really important is sorry, I thought something more past. Another thing that's really important to remember is that there's just so much information out there, and if your overall diet is, you know, pulses, as I said, lean protein, vegetables, fruit, and you're drinking lots of water, you're generally going to be okay. You don't need to kind of overstress and overthink it too much, because when you do that, all that tends to happen is it's too much kind of information overload, and then you tend to just give up. And what is the point in that? You want to be healthy, you want to kind of be able to make the most of what you're eating, so you want to bear that in mind. The second tip is to do with looking at your diet as an overall package. Now when I say diet, I don't necessarily mean weight loss diet, I just mean kind of your way of eating. And if you look at your kind of diet in a week's term, so if you think, right, this week I've eaten protein kind of every night, I've had kind of good mixture of good fats, I've eaten lots of fruit and vegetables, and I've been pretty good this week, then it kind of makes up for the fact that maybe on the weekend you had a kebab or something. I don't know what people tend to eat on weekends. I don't eat kebabs obviously, but whatever you've eaten, you know, if you had McDonald's or whatever it was, if you do it every now and then, it's not going to kill you, it's fine. And if you look at your diet kind of as an overall picture, and you think, you know, I've had my fruits, I've had my vegetables, I've had enough fibre in my diet. Fibre is a really really important thing to make sure you've got in your diet. Then you will be able to kind of assess where you need to kind of put a little bit more effort in and where you've been doing really well. And I think it's just kind of a nicer way of doing it, because if you're stressing every single day about I haven't eaten enough this and I haven't had enough protein and I haven't eaten my 5 a day, then it can be really difficult. And if you want me to do a video about easy ways to sort of consume your 5 a day, because I know that's something a lot of people struggle with, and I've kind of found a few ways where it makes it a bit easier for me now, then let me know, thumbs up this video kind of thing, and I'll know that you want me to do it. The third tip is to practice portion control. Now this is obviously great for weight management, but this is also a really, really important tip for just kind of overall healthy eating in general, because we eat much larger portions than we need to these days. And if you go to a restaurant, the portions you get given are huge, and it's just a very important thing to learn to kind of practice how to eat well and how to eat the right size portions. So whereas an average person today would eat their dinner off a plate like this, which is quite a large plate. So my boyfriend, for example, will fill this plate up with food and he will eat it all. I try and eat my foods off a plate sized like this. Now the reason for this is, and if you look at the difference between the two plates, the size of this one compared to the size of this one, if you have got a smaller plate, A, you can't pile on as much food. B, whatever food you have got on it is going to look like you're eating more because your plate's smaller. So if you have got something like a meal here and then some green leafy vegetables here, or some, you know, steamed broccoli or whatever it is that you're kind of using as your vegetables, then you're going to eat a much smaller portion of whatever it was that was the kind of not as healthy thing that you were eating. And trying to eat on these size plates is a really, really great tip. I do it with kind of cereal, with bowls and that kind of thing. I try and do it with everything. I really, really try and practice portion control. I think it's a really, really important and great way of ensuring that you're not overeating. So make sure that you can kind of practice controlling how much you're eating and don't overload your plates. The fourth tip is to stock up on healthy foods and not buy junk. This is a really important tip, because if you buy things like crisps and biscuits and they're in the house, when a weak moment catches you, which it will because it does to everyone, you will be more likely to munch into them. Whereas if you don't buy those things and all you've got at home is, you know, fruits and vegetables and, you know, healthy things, then those are the things that you're going to reach for. And I tend to kind of just buy the healthy things, and then if I do want to buy a treat, I will do it wisely. For example, if I fancy my treat and I want it to be a Ben & Jerry's ice cream, instead of buying the big tubs, I will buy one of the small individual ones. That way I've had kind of my sweet fix, I've eaten it and then it's gone. I'm not tempted to go back for seconds. I'm not tempted to eat the whole tub, which I think I probably could if I put my mind to it, but I'm not tempted to eat the whole thing, and I've kind of managed to just have what I wanted but in a small way. So it's not too bad for you if you do it that way. And if you don't buy things like biscuits and that kind of thing, you don't have to battle with your willpower, because I know for me personally, I don't understand how some people can just have a biscuit or a few crisps. If I've opened a packet of crisps, I'm in it for the long haul. I will eat them until they're all gone. Same goes with biscuits. I can just only wanted one biscuit, and then I'll have eaten all the biscuits and think, oh my god, I've just eaten half a packet of digestive biscuits and I only wanted one biscuit. You kind of do it mindlessly. So if you don't buy them, you're not tempted to eat them. The next tip is to find healthy meals that you can cook. So healthy, easy, filling meals that you can cook. When it comes to making your own meals, I really, really do think that that is where the health is. Because if you're eating things like takeaways and ready meals and you know, jarred sauces and frozen foods, they're not very good for you. They've got a lot of preservatives and a lot of additives in them, and obviously, you know, we all eat things that have additives in them, crisps and, you know, condiments and things like even tomato ketchup is not that great for you. But when you kind of think about it, I think maybe it's because I grew up in a house where we never ate anything that was kind of processed, even if we had pasta. Whereas other people would have pasta and just a jar of tomato sauce, we would have pasta and homemade fresh pesto sauce, because my mum's a really, really good cook, and that was how we'd always been brought up to eat. So that's very much how I am. I never eat any kind of packaged sauces or ready meals or anything like that. I don't think I've ever eaten a ready meal in my life. So I don't think that you really have to do it. I don't think that even if you're the busiest person in the world, there are meals that are so easy to make. If you just grill a little bit of chicken and saute some vegetables and put them in a whole grain wrap, that's a really quick, easy 10-minute meal that you've just made. And there's so many things that are just really, really easy and quick that you can make and don't take up, you know, tons of time and are healthy than just kind of sticking something in the microwave, because it isn't a nice way of eating. It isn't showing food respect. And I often think that, you know, sometimes I wish I could be one of those women who could just, you know, oh, I was so stressed today, I forgot to eat lunch. I never forget to eat. I love food. I wish I could be one of those women who, you know, wasn't that fussed about food and could just eat anything. I love food. I need food to taste nice, and I think you need to give food the respect that it deserves, and not just kind of scoff anything just for the sake of eating it. Cook it well, make sure it tastes nice, and treat it properly, because it'll not only kind of give your body more nutrients because you've cooked it from scratch, but it will also kind of give you a bit of a healthier attitude towards food. The next tip is to read the labels. Now this is a very, very important tip, because I think a lot of us know that we should read the labels but don't really get around to doing it. And the things that you want to watch on labels are the saturated fat content, the salt content, and the sugar content. So yes, you want to be aware of calories and that kind of thing, but you want to stay away from things that have got really high amounts of saturated fat in them, because saturated fat is not good for you, and salt obviously is not good for you, and so many foods today have tons and tons of added salt in, and I am generally quite good with salt. I don't tend to add much salt to my food, so it tends to be kind of if I'm eating something that's probably already got salt in it, like bread or cereal or that kind of thing. But you don't want to add any more salt to your diet. It's got plenty enough in it kind of from just eating those types of things. And you want to watch out for sugar as well, because sugar isn't very good for you. Sugar's not very good for your skin either, so you want to watch out for that. But just kind of be educated about what you're buying. If you then still choose to buy something that's really high in salt or something like that every once in a while, then that's fine, but at least you've kind of made an educated decision. So those are my top tips and tricks for healthy eating. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you found it helpful. Let me know if you would like me to do kind of like a week in meals type of video, maybe like my evening meals, because I've started doing slightly different things and they're very kind of quick, easy, obviously vegetarian, yummy meals that I've been enjoying eating. So let me know if you want me to do something like that, and I'll try and do that soon. And another thing is, I'm going to link the NHS website in the description box, because they've got a little questionnaire that you can fill out that tells you how educated you are about healthy eating, and maybe you're not as educated as you thought you were, and it'll kind of teach you a few new things. And it's kind of very approachable. It's not all, you know, let's all eat quinoa and tofu, because I'm not into that at all. So it's kind of a very approachable way of doing it. So I'll link that down below, and if you've done it, then go and do it now and write me in the comments what score you got. I'd really, really love to know, and then I'll tell you what mine was. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you next time. Bye!